Welcome to Movie Rehash. Today, I'm going to explain horror fantasy movie released in 2021 called Lamb. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. During a big snowstorm, a bunch of horses get scared by a mysterious creature they don't know. Later on, that same creature, who sounds like it's breathing heavily, walks into a nearby barn and alerts the sheep there. In the mountains of Iceland, there's a couple named Ingvar and Maria. They don't have any children and live a simple life. They take care of their sheep and grow vegetables on their land for their family. Since their place is far away from other people, they spend most of their time together or doing chores around the house. One evening, Maria is counting their sheep to keep track of how many they have in the barn. She thinks they have more sheep than last year, but Ingvar doesn't really care about expanding their herd. He thinks they don't need to spend money on anything unnecessary. While they're talking about their work, Maria mentions that the tractor is causing problems again. Ingvar suggests they should get it fixed before the planting season. Something strange happens to them. One of their sheep gives birth to a baby lamb that looks like a mix of a sheep and a human. It has a body that's half sheep and half human. Maria realizes that the baby lamb seems more like a human, so she brings her inside the house. Both Maria and Ingvar start taking care of her, treating her like their own child. Since Ingvar and Maria don't have any children, they pour all their love and care to the lamb, which they named Ada. They even set up a baby cart for Ada in their bedroom so that she can be close to them at all times. They consider Ada as part of their family. However, Ada's biological mother keeps calling out to her, but Ingvar and Maria don't respond to her cries. Maria treats Ada like a human child, which upsets Ingvar secretly. He feels disappointed about not having a child of their own, but he hides his sadness from Maria because he doesn't want to hurt her. While Ingvar tries to fix the tractor, his dog alerts him to something strange in the field, but they can't figure out what it is. Time passes, and Ada's mother continues to appear outside their house, desperately searching for her child. However, Maria always sends her away while Ada watches her. One morning, as Maria goes to work in the fields and Ingvar takes care of Ada, he accidentally leaves the door to the house open before heading out to the shed. When they both return to the house, Maria asks about Ada. Ingvar tells her that he put Ada to sleep before going outside. Concerned, Maria checks the bedroom but can't find Ada anywhere. They search the entire area but can't locate her. Feeling hopeless, they return home. However, Maria hears the sheep from the barn and rushes over to them. There, she finds Ada peacefully sleeping next to her mother. Maria feels a wave of relief and joy knowing that Ada is safe and reunited with her mother. They quickly rescue Ada from the freezing cold and bring her back inside the house, covering her to keep her warm. The mother sheep follows them, but Maria sends her away once more. Relieved, they settle Ada in her bed, feeling a sense of safety now that their daughter is back with them. Over time, Ada becomes an integral part of their family, especially for Maria, who grows deeply attached to her and spends a lot of time with her. However, Maria starts having nightmares at night, fearing that the sheep might take Ada away from her. Worried for Ada's safety, she devises a plan to eliminate the perceived threat. One night, while Ingvar and Ada are asleep, Maria ventures outside the house and shoots Ada's mother. Unaware of the consequences, she buries the sheep in the ground. Unbeknownst to her, Ingvar's brother, Peter, who has just arrived, witnesses the entire incident. Peter spends the night in the barn and catches sight of a human-sheep hybrid, but he dismisses it as a dream when it quickly disappears. The next morning, Peter wakes up and reunites with Ingvar, bringing happiness to the household after his long absence. Ingvar takes Peter outside, instructing Maria to prepare breakfast for their guest. While they sit at the dining table, Ada, now grown up, appears at the door, and Maria introduces her to Peter. He feels somewhat upset seeing Ada but chooses not to express his feelings. As Ada and Maria spend time together, and Ingvar paints the house, Peter returns inside and observes them playing. Later on, when Ingvar joins them, Peter expresses his disapproval of Ada's presence. However, Ingvar disregards Peter's opinion, as he considers Ada the source of their happiness. At night, as Maria brings Ada to bid him and Ingvar goodnight, Peter tries once again to discuss keeping Ada, but Ingvar stops him, not wanting to engage in the conversation. Ingvar offers Peter a place to stay for as long as he wants but firmly tells him not to interfere with their personal lives. Maria, unhappy with Peter's attitude, discusses his extended stay with Ingvar, knowing that he often seeks refuge with them to hide from people he owes money to. However, Ingvar acknowledges that Peter might stay for a while. The following morning, as they plant potatoes in the field, the dog tries to watch over Ada, but she scares him away. During a break from work, Peter makes a romantic advance toward Maria, but she rejects his advances. Once again, he voices his concerns about having brought an animal into their home, but Maria pays little attention to his opinions, as he has no say in their family matters. The next morning, Ingvar wakes Peter up to help him clean the shed. While cleaning, Peter discovers his old drums and excitedly starts playing, with Ada enjoying the music. However, he grows annoyed by Ada and tries to mock her by forcing her to eat like a lamb. Ingvar intervenes and scolds Peter for teasing her in such a manner. One night, while they are asleep, Peter secretly takes Ada with him for a morning walk, intending to shoot her. However, he has a change of heart upon seeing her innocent face. Meanwhile, Maria wakes up and realizes Ada is missing from her cart. Worried, she searches around the house but eventually finds Ada sleeping peacefully in Pieter's arms. It becomes evident that Pieter has finally accepted Ada as part of the family. Maria pays a visit to the cemetery, where she reveals that she and Ingvar had a daughter named Ada, and they named the lamb after her. While reading stories to Ada, Ingvar remembers their deceased daughter and experiences the pain of losing her. Maria comforts him and helps him calm down. With time, Pieter grows closer to Ada and often takes her outside with him. Ingvar and Maria feel immense joy and relief seeing the bond between Pieter and Ada finally forming, bringing harmony to their household. While fishing together, Pieter shares stories about his and Ingvar's childhood with Ada. On their way back home, their tractor suddenly breaks down in the middle of the road. After being unable to identify the issue, Pieter decides to leave it there and walks back home with Ada. After dinner, the three of them gather to watch a game on TV but become frustrated when their team loses. To lift their spirits, Maria decides to play an old music video featuring Pieter. The upbeat music and dancing change everyone's mood, and they start enjoying themselves, accompanied by some drinks. In the midst of the festivities, Ada quietly slips out of the house and comes across her biological father. She is shocked to see that she resembles him, rather than Maria or Ingvar. Meanwhile, back at the house, Ingvar becomes intoxicated and falls to the floor. Pieter helps him up and takes him to bed, where Ingvar quickly falls asleep, but Ada cannot shake off her thoughts about what she witnessed outside. At the same time, Pieter returns to the kitchen and once again tries to flirt with Maria, but she firmly puts a stop to his advances. Upon realizing that Maria is not reciprocating his advances, Pieter resorts to blackmail. He threatens to tell Ada that Maria killed her mother. Maria, pretending to have fallen into his trap, plays along and lures Pieter into a closet, locking him inside. Despite his pleas and banging on the door, she ignores his request to be released. The following morning, Maria wakes Pieter up and firmly instructs him to leave the house. As she drives him away, Ingvar wakes up and searches for them around the house. Meanwhile, Ada assists him in preparing breakfast. After dropping Pieter off at the bus stop, Maria explains to him that Ada is a precious gift to their family, helping them to start anew. Despite his hurtful behavior, Maria gives Pieter some money to assist with his expenses and bids him farewell as he boards the bus to leave town. In the meantime, Ingvar takes Ada with him to try and fix the broken tractor. While working on it, he engages in conversation with Ada, describing how she can find her way home if she ever gets lost. Unfortunately, he is unable to resolve the issue with the tractor and walks back home with Ada. Maria happily drives back home, relieved that they can now live in peace and harmony with Ada. Maria returns home and searches for Ingvar and Ada, but they are nowhere to be found. Suddenly, she hears a gunshot, and instinctively rushes towards the source of the sound. To her horror, she finds Ingvar lying on the ground, gravely injured. The hybrid creature, which has already killed her dog, shoots Ingvar in the neck right in front of Ada. Ada, reluctant to leave Ingvar, stays by his side, but the creature forcefully separates her from him, even though she doesn't want to be taken away. With teary eyes, Ada keeps looking back at Ingvar, but her biological father takes her away, leaving Ingvar helpless and filled with distress. Maria discovers Ingvar in a critically wounded state and immediately rushes to his side, picking him up. Despite her desperate efforts, Ingvar succumbs to his injuries and dies in Maria's arms. Maria is overcome with grief and despair as she cries over the loss of her beloved partner. She closes her eyes, feeling devastated by the tragic turn of events. In this way, movie ends here. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more interesting movie recaps.